True Crimers, Partners in Crime, we are back for week 5, part 2. I knew we'd have multiple parts this week, so I wanted to just give my disclaimer in this video as well that this is for entertainment purposes only. This is just solely my opinion, my speculation, and my thoughts, not to be confused as facts. Please form your own opinion. And again, this is just for entertainment purposes, so let's get into it. Okay, so we left off with talking about the different sides, the creators that are supporting KP and CP, and also mainly the triggered events that happened over this week where CP and Seth Rogers both had meltdowns, really, and they were pretty severe. So that's where we left off. The second thing that happened this week was Bullhorn Betty, BHB, went to court. And she has been in court because the Proudfoots and the Bowersox have 4 separate orders of protection on BHB. So that's been playing out in court. And there was a hearing about the violations. They say she's being accused of violating those orders, and she is defending herself, saying that it is freedom of speech. I have some thoughts on this, and not on the court case itself. That's not something I'm going to really report on, although I have my own opinions on it. But what I wanted to get into is my observations. I did watch as much footage as I could find on the hearing, and what I saw was a very confident KP walk into that courtroom. Calm, cool, collected, confident. The footage of her on the stand being questioned, she was very clear, calm, eye contact. She did very well. However, that got me thinking. When we see her in interviews talking about Sebastian, she's a mess. Now, not in the sense of a mother being a mess because it's emotional because she's talking about her child. That's not what I see in those interviews. It appears, in my opinion, in those interviews that she's stressed out. More than emotional, she's stressed out. This is just my opinion. But, maybe, possibly a script is being used and she needs to make sure she's following that. She needs to make sure she doesn't say the wrong thing. For example, she said something along the lines, and don't quote me, but like he would have been 16. Like she talked in past tense. So, she never makes like eye contact. She's always rocking. And again, for me, it doesn't seem like a mother that is so emotional that it's hard to talk about. It's more that she's nervous and all over the place and just anxious and but that is not what we saw in court when she was talking and defending herself against Bullhorn Betty. Very cool demeanor. Now, we have to remember that both KP and CP they're veterans. I don't know if they're still in the military. I don't think so, but at one point they were, or if still are. That takes a lot of bravery, right? I don't think I could go and be in the military. So they're highly skilled and highly trained. KP is. So I'm expected to believe that she's that afraid of BHB, who doesn't even live in the same state. I don't know. I'm not buying it. Not even for 1 second. Nothing ever happened. I don't even think that BHB has ever talked to KP. I think she might be afraid of what BHB says about her. But I'm not believing that she's in fear of her life. Not for 1 solid second. So I do hope that the case gets transferred and out of that county where there can be an impartial judge that makes decisions. Now, speaking of that, the judge that was on the case recused themselves this week because of threats. Again, in this case, the threats come up. Now, this isn't just rumors. Like, the judge himself, where are these threats coming from? I've talked on this before. Threats just keep repeating themselves in this case. Where did these threats come from? And I know there's going to be an investigation, obviously. You can't just threaten a judge and just it be okay. But I have never seen a case of a missing person, a missing child especially, where there are so many threats. So that's just another thing that happened. The judge was replaced, and I think that case is continuing on. But again, I just saw a very, very well-spoken, cool demeanor KP who was defending herself and fight. This is the other thing. They're fighting for these protection orders against somebody that doesn't even live close, like so far away. She's only ever been to that state once, putting up flyers. Like, she really didn't do anything, in my opinion. And they're spending all money for a lawyer all the time and everything. When if my child was missing, in my opinion, I just wouldn't be putting that kind of energy into fighting a YouTuber. Like, that every ounce of my energy would be into finding my child. And the news was there. It was reporting on it. And when they left, they didn't go speak with the news. That was a perfect time to say, hey, this is really about my son, and he's missing, and his name is Sebastian Rogers, and this is his picture, and please, find him. I need him. Nothing. Sebastian, if you're out there, I miss you like nothing. If you look at the case of Michael Monkey Vaughn, you will see what a normal mother reaction to the missing child is. And we just do not see that in this case. I don't. I'm sorry. I want to. I don't. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, so on the channel Clutch Them Pearls, a call was released. And I don't know if it's been released before, but it's the first time I heard it. And it's KP and CP speaking with, I think it's Heather Cohen, Seth Rogers' old PI. She no longer works for the case, but it was way back when she did. And I don't know what prompted the conversation, but it was recorded. And they were on the phone, and she was trying to get, like, the timeline. She was asking them questions about the day of, and just, like, trying to get more details. And it appeared that maybe they were actually agreeing to do this phone call because they wanted to know what she knew. Like, they wanted her to fill in the pieces. But, so, like, when they started talking, I just noticed the time, and I cannot believe, I can though, it's been a wild week. I'm going to go over to part 3 before I get too much into this phone call. So, again, I hope you will meet me over there, and I will see you there.